Welcome back to Chateau Walls, where we explore the stories behind France's most fascinating chateau restorations. Today, we're looking at what might be one of the most controversial decisions in Stephanie Jarvis's chateau journey, draining the lake at Chateau de Lalande. For years, viewers of the Chateau Diaries have been captivated by Stephanie's whimsical lifestyle, her stunning property, and her long-term dream of restoring the lake. But behind the dream lies a difficult decision made years before the vlogs began, a decision that might just be her biggest mistake. Let's go back to the beginning. The original lake at Lalande. Chateau de Lalande, like many historic properties in France, once featured a man-made lake. This lake wasn't just decorative, it was part of the estate's historical landscape, adding grandeur and charm. For generations, the lake was a central feature of the grounds. It reflected the chateau's facade in the water and added a layer of tranquility to the estate. When Stephanie and her family first took ownership of Lalande in the early 2000s, the lake was still intact, but trouble was brewing. A dam problem. At some point after purchasing the property, the family was alerted to a serious issue. The dam that supported the lake did not meet modern safety regulations. The authorities, likely a combination of the local mairie and France's DREAL, Regional Environmental Directorate, raised concerns that the dam posed a potential flooding risk. Faced with the prospect of costly repairs and engineering studies, Stephanie and her family made a decision that would change the chateau's landscape for decades. They drained the lake. It was meant to be a temporary solution. The idea was to fix the dam eventually, then refill the lake. But as anyone familiar with French bureaucracy knows, nothing involving land, water, or restoration moves quickly. The long road to restoration. Fast forward to the launch of the Chateau Diaries on YouTube. Viewers quickly fell in love with the fairy tale setting, the charming cast of volunteers, and Stephanie's boundless optimism. But sharp-eyed fans noticed something missing: the lake. In several episodes, Stephanie has spoken about her dream of restoring the lake, but it's also become clear that the process is anything but simple. Restoring the lake means conducting environmental impact assessments, navigating multiple levels of government approval, complying with updated water laws, hiring engineers, surveyors, and contractors. Not to mention the estimated cost, which could easily run into hundreds of thousands of euros. For years, the lake has been one of the chateau's most talked about unfinished projects. And with each passing year, more viewers ask, why hasn't it happened yet? Was draining the lake a mistake? In hindsight, it's easy to say draining the lake was a mistake. The loss of such a stunning feature changed the entire visual feel of the estate, but it's also understandable. Faced with urgent safety regulations and limited funds, the family did what many people would do. They chose the cheapest and safest option at the time. The real question is whether there was a clear plan in place to restore it later, or whether that part got lost in the chaos of chateau life. From a commentary perspective, it's not about assigning blame. It's about showing how one decision, made under pressure, can create ripple effects for decades. And that's a powerful message for anyone dreaming of buying a chateau. What the lake represents. Symbolically, the lake represents more than just a body of water. It stands for unfinished business, a dream deferred. For Stephanie, it's become a symbol of persistence. Despite the delays, the paperwork, and the costs, she hasn't given up. That alone deserves recognition. It also shows the reality behind the fairy tale. Chateau ownership is complicated, expensive, and full of unexpected detours. In one video, Stephanie described the lake as her biggest dream for Lalande. She's even had topographic studies done to start the permitting process. But these things take time, years, in fact. What viewers think. Among Chateau Diaries fans, opinions are split. Some are frustrated by the lack of progress and want more transparency about the holdup. Others are more sympathetic, understanding how overwhelming a project like this can be. There's also been some chatter online about whether Stephanie should have prioritized the lake over other renovations, like guest suites or event spaces. But those projects likely brought in income, while the lake remains a long-term investment. Still, viewers keep asking, when will the lake return? Will it ever be restored? There have been glimmers of hope. Stephanie has shown plans, talked to experts, and set fundraising goals. Some donations have gone toward restoration projects in general, though specifics about the lake timeline remain vague. Realistically, the lake may not return for several more years, but the intention appears genuine. Stephanie still dreams of seeing it filled again, and her community continues to support that vision. The real challenge is aligning vision, funds, and legal approval all at once, which is no small feat in France. A teachable moment. So, was draining the lake Stephanie Jarvis's biggest mistake? Perhaps. Or perhaps it was just one of those moments where practical necessity won out over long-term planning. It's a reminder to all would-be chateau owners that not every decision will be glamorous, and some will have consequences that last decades. At the same time, Stephanie's ongoing commitment to restoring the lake shows resilience. She's never stopped believing in her dream, even when the path has been frustratingly slow. And that's a lesson in itself. Chateau life isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Final thoughts. The story of the drained lake at Chateau de Lalande is more than a renovation delay. It's a case study in decision-making, compromise, and the complexity of restoring historic properties. For Stephanie Jarvis, it might be her biggest mistake, or just the cost of doing things the right way over time. Either way, it makes for one of the most compelling stories in the Chateau community. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts below. What would you have done in her place? And for more commentary on the hidden stories behind your favorite chateau, keep watching Chateau Walls. Thanks for being here.